This is me just 50 days ago. After being destroyed by the flu from hell, I'd lost muscle, gained body fat, and went back to looking like potato with arms. Fast forward less than 2 months later, and I packed on a ton of muscle mass, lost a lot of body fat, and honestly had the kind of body transformation you'd expect from someone who hopped on trend. Except I didn't. I simply trained like the man who I think has the greatest physique of all time, better than even Arnold and C-Bum, Serge Nubret. His secret? Pump training, but definitely not in the way you're expecting.
Keep your arms straight. The test is completed.
So this challenge brought no pain, no gain to a whole new level. I want you to come with me today and experience the pain. So a typical day on this routine is I'll wake up, I'll do about 1 minute of fasted cardio with my wife, I will feed my many cats, and then the pain begins. All right, here's where this routine gets really fucked up. Serge would wake up at 5 a.m. and he would do 1,000 reps of abs immediately upon waking. So I did the same thing and I headed to my dungeon gym to knock out some abs. Now, I really started to daydream during these intense morning ab workouts. I was not used to just rolling out of bed and doing abs. And I started to think about those really lame Folgers coffee commercials from back in the day.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I started thinking about that on day 1 and 2 just randomly because I was thinking the worst part of waking up was definitely this ab routine. Like, your body is not ready, your mind is not ready, and it was brutal. So after stumbling out of my dungeon gym with my abs cramping up around 5:30 in the morning, my wife will prepare today's horse. Yes, horse. You know that old saying, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse? Well, Serge Nubret took that literally because he would eat 6 to 8 pounds of horse meat every single day. But guess what? They don't even sell horse meat, and I don't want to be banned from the Kentucky Derby. So I settled for the second most jacked animal I could find, good old ground bison. So my lovely wife would be preparing 1 pound of grass-fed bison meat every single morning at 5:30. Was that fun?
No. 5:30, more like 4:45 a.m.
You sure about that? Yummy. You are looking at 88 grams of the finest protein on the planet. But I would try to knock out these pump training workouts very early in the morning around honestly 6 a.m. because they are so intense, as you are about to see, that if I went through my workday and tried to do that workout after, I just had no energy to get through. Now, before you think Serge is clinically insane for this bizarre routine of pump training and all this meat, let me remind you of the insane gains I've made in the last 50 days. Now, according to my in-body scan, I gained 6 pounds of lean muscle mass while losing body fat. My arms went from just over 16 inches to 18 inches pumped, and my legs even grew from 22.5 to 24 inches. So I'm gonna eat all this meat, and then we're gonna head to the gym so I can show you what an actual pump training workout looks like so you can copy it and make all kinds of gains like me. So today you guys are gonna come with me for the Wednesday and Saturday workout on Serge's workout plan. Now, this is where it gets crazy. The Wednesday and Saturday workout is 24 sets of shoulders, 18 sets of arms, and 18 sets of calves. So come with me to Cult Fitness and let's knock it out. So today, of course, we are taking a pump pre-workout with no caffeine. It is arm day, shoulder day, and calf day, so we need to get this pump formula in our system. Now, what makes Serge's pump training so unique and so much different than anything I'd ever done before is high volume. So every exercise is 8 total sets. High rep, 12 to 15 reps. You want to be close to failure. And this is the kicker, 60-second rest time. So the weights that I was lifting for the entire duration of the experiment were much lighter than I was used to. So day number 1, I realized that this workout regimen was straight up cruel and unusual punishment because after the first chest and quads workout, I could literally barely walk down the stairs. My body has not felt this trashed since Thirsty Thursday in college. And I went to a big party school, I might add. And the biggest difference was Light weights, done the right way, actually fatigue you way more than lifting heavy. In fact, I lift heavy a lot. I've done 120s, 125s on the dumbbell bench press for sets of 5 to 6. That first day, doing 60-pound dumbbells, 8 sets of 12 was a total gains changer. You guys want to make gains? Leave that good old ego at the door. Now, by day 2 of the challenge, according to my Whoop device, which is tracking my recovery, my sleep, I had one of the worst recovery scores I had had in 90 days. My body felt trashed. And on day 3, I had to take a 90-minute nap. And I remember waking up from that nap still exhausted. I was literally sleeping more than my cats. Even my dad joined the fun in week number 1, and he actually said it was the most brutal workout of his life. His exact words is, "Son, I lived through the 70s, and this was still the worst thing that I've ever experienced." By day 5, I was mouth taping and nasal stripping my way to better recovery. And it actually worked. My HRV scores when I was sleeping got skyrocketed, my restorative sleep, and honestly, no lie, it was a game changer for just boosting my recovery and sleep throughout the challenge. The crazy part about training like this is you are literally doing equivalent to like 2 full workouts every day. You're doing 40+ sets, but let's not forget, the man who trained like this, literally into his 70s, looked almost the same as he did in his 20s and 30s. I've never seen anyone in the bodybuilding who aged as good as Serge Nubret in terms of his physique staying on point literally his whole life. After 1 week of training like this, honestly, my entire body felt like concrete. I was extremely fatigued, and I was really starting to question if it was even worth it, and I was honestly contemplating quitting the entire challenge. This is good. Cruel and unusual punishment. Oh man, this looks so good. So with this kind of training volume, energy is key. So I had to bust out the white powder. Creatine. So what creatine does is it increases the energy available to your muscles and also increases water retention in your muscles. Both incredible for intense workouts, faster growth, and faster recovery. So the 2 supplements I took were Superhuman Post, which is 5 grams of creatine and also contains other ingredients to truly make it superhuman creatine to really maximize recovery. And then to even get more creatine, I took Superhuman Core. Think of this as all the essentials you need in a pre-workout with your creatine. Post-workout, it is time for more bison meat. In fact, I was eating 2 pounds of bison meat on this experiment, which actually does not sound like a whole lot when you think about Serge eating 6 to 8 pounds of horse meat every single day. And that sounds like the most bizarre diet I have ever heard of in my entire life. But when I just look at Serge's physique, obviously genetics and muscle belly insertions played a little bit of a role, but I just think he had the most aesthetic physique of all time. His abs from the 1,000 reps of abs every single day were flat out insane. His chest and arms were insane, and he just had such an aesthetic and proportional physique, in my opinion. So I'm gonna finish my post-workout meal, and then we're gonna dive into Serge Nubret's exact pump training workout plan that I followed, so you can steal it and make all kinds of gains. This right here is the exact Serge Nubret workout plan. Quads, chest, and abs on Monday. Abs, back, and hamstrings on Tuesday. Abs, shoulders, arms, and calves on Wednesday. Thursday is a repeat of Monday's workout. Friday, a repeat of Tuesday's workout. Saturday, a repeat of Wednesday's workout. And believe it or not, he actually rested on Sunday. Now, the training volume is literally insane. 20 sets of quads and 32 sets of chest in a single workout. And I tried this on week 1, and I realized that it was just way too much training volume. So what I did is I actually started off only at about like 12 to 16 sets week 1, and I just bumped it up about 10% each week on the experiment. Now, I'll throw down the description below the exact exercises that he did for every portion of this workout. But what I found is it got really boring doing the same exercises over and over again. What I thought was more important for results on this experiment was actually doing the exercises where I have the most mind-muscle connection and pump. Now, if you look at the total weekly volume that Serge was doing, it is no wonder that he was eating a freaking horse every single day. 40 sets of quads, 64 sets of chest, 52 sets of back, 48 sets of shoulders, 42 sets of hamstrings, 32 sets of arms and calves. Serge Nubret, it's no wonder he was so shredded literally every picture I saw, because on top of the hypertrophy training, he was doing a ton of conditioning with just this amount of sets in that short of rest time.
I could do this with my eyes closed. with my eyes closed.
So I powered through weeks 2, 3, and 4 on the experiment, and boy, am I glad that I did. Because by day 30, when I got back on that in-body scan machine, I could not believe what I was seeing. I actually gained over 5 pounds of muscle. I gained almost 7 pounds overall. My arms grew from just over 16 inches to almost 17 inches, and my legs were finally as big as my wife's. 22.5 to 24-inch legs in just 30 days. Now, my pump training transformation goes far beyond the numbers because I was really able to tap into an incredible mind-muscle connection doing so many sets with the short rest times and the high repetitions in the 12 to 15 rep range. And I realized what was missing from literally all my workouts the last year. When I was training with Charles Glass, I had an actual trainer. I was a lot more tapped into mind-muscle connection and really feeling that muscle work every single rep. But doing this type of training, I realized why I wasn't making gains for a while was I just didn't have a strong mind-muscle connection. I really wasn't focusing intensely on the muscle I'm training. Now, by day 30, I saw such insane results. I decided to do the experiment for 8 total weeks and keep the gains rolling.
Closed.
50 days, 90 pounds of bison, and hundreds of sets of every single muscle group later, I finally completed my 50-day pump training transformation, and I was blown away by the final results. Now, although my legs stayed the same size from day 30 to day 50, my arms grew to almost 18 inches with a slight pump. Wow, holy look at that. Completely wrapped around, 18 inches. I'm actually pumped that I grew that much. I was not expecting that kind of gains. That is a mind-blowing arm transformation from just over 16 to almost 18 total inches. The pump training, no doubt, was way more than just the pump. It was actually about hypertrophy and real muscle growth as well. My in-body scan results showed just over 6 pounds of lean muscle gained while going from almost 12% body fat to 10% body fat. Yes. More meat. Over the course of this pump training experiment, I took in more meat than an overworked mattress actress. But all kidding aside, there was so much to learn from this experiment. So there was really learning the mind-muscle connection, learning that I need to incorporate more 12 to 15 rep range into my training. But I know if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, will this work for me? And what can I take away from this video? Will I have similar results to Troy? Now, first of all, if you're watching this video, you probably will not have the same results as me, and here's why. I had lost a considerable amount of muscle mass because remember, I had a really bad flu entering this experiment. I also used to have 18-inch arms when I was training with Charles and doing a lot of bodybuilding training, and it's always easier to get back to where you were than to go to an entirely new place on your fitness and bodybuilding journey. So I don't want you guys to think that if you copy this experiment, you're gonna gain 2 inches on your arms and gain 6 pounds of lean muscle mass, because that could be a little bit unrealistic. Now, another thing is I had not taken creatine in over a year. I just started taking creatine again on this experiment. So the fact that the creatine was storing more muscle glycogen and water in my muscles, maybe the in-body scan wasn't 100% accurate. It's not quite as accurate as, say, a DEXA scan or other body scan measures. But if you're just looking to get bigger as fast as possible, there's a lot you can take away. Number one, you should do more sets, failing in the 12 to 15 rep range, and shorten up those rest times. So many of you guys are probably doom scrolling on social media or talking to a bunch of different people between sets at the gym. Lock in, shorten those rest times, and don't go so light that you're not close to failure in the 12 to 15 rep range, but if you hit that sweet spot and you can only do 1 or 2 reps max, that is perfect for making gains. I recommend that you both lift heavy and you do pump training. That's why I cannot recommend the balloon method enough, where you maximize the only 3 science-backed ways that your body builds muscle in a short and efficient workout. And you can find balloon method workouts for every single muscle group on this channel under Superhuman workouts on the channel homepage. But if you want to keep on making gains, keep on leveling up your life and becoming superhuman, check out the entire Becoming Superhuman playlist, subscribe, and be on the lookout for the next video.
You ain't got no gains. You ain't lift no weights.